Maasai, or Acts, chapter 18, verse 19. And he came to Ephesus and left them there, but he himself went into the congregation and reasoned with the Yehudim. And when they asked him to stay a longer time with them, he declined, but took leave of them, saying, I have to keep this coming festival in Jerusalem by all means, but I shall come back to you, Elohim desiring so. And he sailed from Ephesus. And having come to Caesarea, going up and greeting the assembly, he went down to Antioch. And having spent some time there, he went forth, passing through the country of Galatia and on through Phrygia, strengthening all the taught ones. And a certain Yehudi named Apollos, born at Alexandria, a learned man and mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus. This one had been instructed in the way of the master, and being fervent in spirit, he was speaking and teaching the matters about the master exactly, though he knew only of the immersion of Yohanan. And he began to speak boldly in the congregation. And when Achillas and Priscilla heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the way of Elohim more exactly. And when he intended to pass through to Achaia, the brothers, having encouraged him, wrote to the taught ones to receive him, who, having arrived, greatly helped those who believed through favor. For with power he refuted the Yehudim publicly, showing from the scriptures that Yeshua is the Messiah. Chapter 19. And it came to be, while Apollos was at Corinth, that Sha'ul, having passed through the upper parts, came to Ephesus. And having found some taught ones, he said to them, Did you receive the set-apart spirit when you believed? And they said to him, No, we've not even heard that there is a set-apart spirit. And he said to them, Into what then were you immersed? And they said, Into Yohanan's immersion. And Sha'ul said, Yohanan, indeed immersed with an immersion of repentance, saying to the people that they should believe in the one who is coming after him, that is, in Messiah Yeshua. And when they heard this, they were immersed into the name of the Master Yeshua. And when Sha'ul had laid hands on them, the set-apart spirit came upon them, and they were speaking in tongues and prophesying. And all the men were about 12. And having gone into the congregation, he spoke boldly for 3 months, reasoning and persuading concerning the reign of Elohim. But when some were hardened and did not believe, speaking evil of the way before the crowd, he withdrew from them and separated the taught ones, reasoning daily in the school of Tyrannos. And this took place for 2 years, so that all who dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Master Yeshua, both Yehudim and Greeks. And Elohim worked unusual miracles through the hands of Sha'ul, so that even handkerchiefs or aprons were brought from his body to the sick, and the diseases left them, and the wicked spirits went out of them. But certain roving Yehudi exorcists took it upon themselves to call the name of the Master Yeshua over those who had wicked spirits, saying, We exorcise you by Yeshua, whom Sha'ul proclaims. And there were 7 sons of a certain Sha'ul, a Yehudi chief priest, who were doing this. And the wicked spirit answering said, Yeshua I know, and Sha'ul I know, but who are you? And the man in whom the wicked spirit was leaped on them, overpowered them, and prevailed against them So they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this became known to all, both Yehudim and Greeks dwelling in Ephesus, and fear fell on them all. And the name of the Master Yeshua was made great. And many who had believed came confessing and declaring their deeds. And many of those who had practiced magic brought their books together, burning them before all. And they reckoned up the value of them and found it to be 50,000 pieces of silver. So the word of the Master was growing mightily and prevailing. Now, when these matters had been completed, Sha'ul purposed in the Spirit, when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia, to go to Jerusalem, saying, "After I've been there, I have to see Rome too." And having sent into Macedonia 2 of those assisting him, Timotheus and Erastus, he himself remained in Asia for a time. And about that time there came to be a great commotion about the way. For a certain man named Demetrios, a silversmith who made silver shrines of Artemis, provided no little business to the craftsmen, who, having called them together with the workers of similar trade, said, "Men, you know that our wealth is from this business, and you see and hear that not only at Ephesus, but throughout almost all of Asia, this Sha'ul has persuaded and turned away a large number, saying that they are not mighty ones which are made with hands. And not only is this trade of ours in danger of coming to rejection, but also that the temple of the great female mighty one Artemis, whom all Asia and the world worship, shall be regarded as worthless, and her greatness diminished." And having heard this, they were filled with rage and cried out, saying, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians." And the entire city was filled with confusion, and they rushed with one mind into the theater, having seized Gaius and Aristarchus and Macedonians, Shaul's fellow travelers. And Sha'ul, intending to go in among the mob, the taught ones did not allow him, and some of the officials of Asia, being his friends, sent to him, begging him not to risk himself in the theater. Then others indeed shouted this and others that, for the assembly was confused, and most of them did not even know why they had come together. And some of the crowd instructed Alexander, the Yehudim putting him forward, and Alexander motioned with his hand and wished to make his defense to the people. But having recognized that he was a Yehudi, all with one voice cried out for about 2 hours, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians." And the city clerk, having calmed the crowd, said, "Men of Ephesus, what man is there who does not know that the city of the Ephesians is the guardian of the temple of the great female mighty one Artemis, and of that which fell down from Zeus? Therefore, if these matters are undeniable, you need to be calm and do not act rashly. For you have brought these men here who are neither temple robbers nor speaking evil of your female mighty one. If truly then Demetrios and his fellow craftsmen have a case against anyone, the courts are open, and there are proconsuls. Let them accuse one another. And if you have any further complaint, it shall be settled in the regular assembly. For we are in danger of being accused of a riot concerning today, there being no reason which we could give to account for this disorderly gathering." And having said this, he dismissed the assembly.